Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about refugee. So as a refugee in a country, what are my social rights? So before we dive into it, so let's talk about the meaning of refugee. In a very common word, a refugee means a person who has been forcefully forced out of his original or her original country due to persecution, war, or natural disaster. So, as a refugee, what are my social rights? So, there are six major social rights as a refugee. One, health insurance. Two, accommodation. You have right for accommodation if you are a refugee. Three, work. Four, financial help. Five, transportation. And the sixth one is a bank account. As a refugee, you have right to own a bank account as a refugee. So we'll be breaking all these down step by step. So let's talk about health insurance. As we all know, in France, there is a cover for health insurance for every individual, whether you are from any part of the world, you are in France, and you have right for your health insurance. It can be covered with 75%. So as a refugee, you have equal right for 85% of your health insurance. So health insurance as a refugee is free in France for you that is seeking an asylum or a protection. So the issue of accommodation, as a refugee in France, you have right for your accommodation. There is a number that you can call. It is called 115. You can call them to explain your situation, that you have an accommodation problem, where they can give you an accommodation. Time to time you can call them. They can give you a week accommodation, 2 weeks accommodation, and so on and so forth. You can call them, then after they can give you a permanent place to stay. So accommodation as a refugee is free. And if you have a choice, you want to rent from someone, you can also rent an accommodation from someone. But in France, they have made it easier, and there are some association that they do it for free. It's like a charity. They provide accommodation for refugees. You call them, they can provide you an accommodation to stay. Then from time to time, you call them, you renew your accommodation. Once you are with them, when they get to know your situation, then they'll give you a permanent place to stay until you can go for your hearing. So for accommodation in France is very free. So the next one is financial support. As a refugee, you have rights for financial protection. It will be granted to you if you are one person or you have a family. Depend on your family, that is how it will be scaled. So if you are one person can receive 300 to 400 euros monthly based on your situation. So if you have a child or you have a wife or you have extended bodies, it can also be extended. You can have more than that. So depend on your family, depend on how many you are, you can have more than that. So so issue of financial support. As a refugee, you have rights for financial support since you are seeking for protection. So at that in that period of time, they are going to be giving you every support you need: financial support, medical support, and so on and so forth. So you need a financial every month. If you are one person, you can receive up to 300 to 400 euros, depend on your situation and depend the country you are coming from. And also, apart from financial support, there are other support also. There are restaurants where you can eat in the morning, in the evenings, and they are also for clothing. There are also stores where they can write some paper for you to go and take whatever you need, some clothes that you will need at that particular point in time. Remember, you are coming for a protection. So they assume that since you are coming from a protection, it can be that you are from a country that have crisis. When you come from a country that have crisis, that is to say that you have lost all your belongings. So you will need a financial support. Then they will show you where you can, your social worker can show you where you can take clothes. They can show you where you can see other people that have like your kind of situation, and they can show you where you can eat, like I said before, restaurants where you can eat, and so on and so forth. So the issue of bank account, you have the right to open a bank account because from that bank account, that is where your monthly allowance will pass every month. So you automatically, as a refugee, you have right for bank account. So the next one is I think the next one is issue of transportation. You know, in France, you have a card. You cannot just take transport like that. Like there's train, there's bus. So like those people that don't live in Paris and you live in a small city, there is a way that the assistant social can help you with your card, with your bus card. But in the general form, normally the bus card I think is 45 euros. Because you are a refugee, there are some percentage that will be covered. You can pay as less as 9 euros something monthly because you are a refugee, because you are under the protection. So you will have that benefit for your transportation and all that. So yes, I think that is the end of it. So these are the basic things as a refugee that you will need in France. So we have transportation, um, um, bank, to have a bank account, to 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 have accommodation, and the last one is to have, okay, I did not talk about work. Issue of work, you have as in the first 6 months, if you have been accepted in France, you have rights to work. You can go to Pôle emploi. There's a place where they call Pôle emploi. That is where job seekers go. You can go to Pôle emploi because of your status as a refugee. In that first 6 months, if you have not had any hearing, you have right to work. There are some work that are available for asylum seekers, for refugees. You have production work, you work in the industries, and so on and so forth. So basically, that is it. So thank you. Thanks for watching.